Alright, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome to part 3 of my updated English series. And this might be the final one as well as like a tutorial. In the first part of this series, I showed you my updated alphabet and what letters were removed, which were added, and which ones were changed. In part 2, I showed you the accent marks I introduced and how they affect pronunciation in the letters of words. Now in this one, we're going to be putting it all together. I'll be showing you how words are actually spelt in this updated version of English. Think of it as like a mini tutorial. I'll show you how the spelling works, some examples, and how the new alphabet and accent marks come into play. Alright, so this is another guide I decided to make for this video that I might make public as well with the other Google document guide. I'm still gonna finish that one, of course. This one's of course finished, so I'm gonna be sharing both this and the Google Docs when the Docs is finished, both publicly, so you can check it out. So this is my Google Slides on how to spell words in my updated English language. So let's start off with the phonetic spelling with the silent letters. In my update, spelling is more phonetic and logical. There are no silent letters, unless you decide to use the brief accent mark, which is this. It's like the upside down Karen. So for example, in the word night, you can see there's a silent K here, and also a silent G, as well as an H. So the word you can literally spell the word as night with the N. You can take out the K and you can also see that the G has the breathe accent. Notice that the silent K in the start, I removed that one because it's difficult to find a K with a breathe when you're typing it. I don't think it's even possible to find one, I think. So that's why you can go with the alternative and not use accent marks if you want. So nights can literally just be night like this, or night without this silent H. The H is a silent twin of my H, remember my H? So you need not use it, and it's up to you whether you want to use it. So again, as I said, this version of my English language is more customizable when it comes to the spelling. Here are some examples of silent letters. So the ones with breathes right here, might, you can see the G has a breathe. Pair, the A has a breathe. Villain has the breathe. Now for kite, there is no breathe, so I might have put it over here. But anyways, the reason why there's no breathe here because in the last video, I'm pretty sure there was an exception rule I made. That's the E at the end of a word. So right here is always silent, like how it is in French. So yeah, so you don't have to put the breathe at the end of a word, because then you would know, then okay, yeah, it's a silent letter. And here is soul, you can see the U has a breathe. So over here, you can see without words without the breathes or with the silent letters removed. So again, here's might. Over here, the G and H is removed. Pair is just the A is removed, so it's pair like this with the E with the grave. Villain, you see the A is gone. Kite, the E is gone, but the I has a macron, so you can just pronounce it as kite. It's not keet. This could also mean to say it's pronounced as keet, but later on you would for sure know this means kite. And then soul is like this without the U. It looks similar to like the I think it's the Latin name for sun, soul or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Using new letters. So in my update, there are additional letters in the alphabet. This is and. So like in lavender, you see the A here is an and. There's this H. It's the pronounced H. So hillside, right here. This is the eng. This makes the ng sound, like in mango. So cool. That's pretty cool. Here's my she. I use the Latin characters because it's easier to type out with my computer. You can also use the Cyrillic versions of them. So here you have marshmallow. Here's the she right here. This is thorn. It's used both the voiced and the unvoiced um, variants. So the word think uses the unvoiced version of the th sound, and mother uses the voiced version. So thorn is used both ways in my update. And this last one is z. This makes the zh sound like in leisure right here. Now notice how in these words mother, lavender, and leisure, I put an ER at the end without changing them, except for leisure, of course, I put the ER. That's because you can still pronounce the letter combo as a non-colored rhotic, so like the schwa, the like the British pronunciation for mother, or you can pronounce it like the colored rhotic, which is this, the which is mostly like the typical US American pronunciation for mother and lavender, because I did not add a schwa letter in my alphabet. So, yeah. And there are changed letters. Although there are new letters, some letters that stayed have been changed. This is my chi. This used to be C in the original language, but I changed it to chi so it only makes a CH sound like in latch. This is my letter G. It only makes the hard G sound, so it's only used in the words like legs. Okay, so it only makes the gut sound. This is J. It only does J only, so words with the soft G sound like Germany will be used J instead of the soft G. H is always silent, so you can customize yourself with that. So like Google, the H stays the same, and here you have the accent marks with the brief O and the Macron U. And the letter Q is removed entirely and replaced with K and a U with the Macron, so quality. You can alternatively use K and win or W. This is X. It only makes the KS sound, so expert. The X is here, but in xylophone, it's gone because the X is in the front, but it makes the Z sound, so you can just replace the X with a Z, so xylophone. And finally, we got the Y, which only makes the yup sound, so it's only the consonant version. So here's yellow as the consonant Y, and then mystery, there's the Y, but it's used as vowels. So mystery. Basically the Y is just it's just a disguised I when you think about it. Accent mark usage. Here's a brief recap of how the accent marks are used. So the diacritics are used to pronounce in vowels that are next to each other separately in words. So like take this word for example. These two E's make different sounds. So you can put the diacritics on the second E, so it can say reenact. Reenact. It's not reenact, it's reenact. Then there's the macron. These are used for long vowel sounds. So like the A in maple. And then there's the grave. It's the complete opposite of a macron. It's for short vowel sounds. So like the U here in underneath. And finally we got the brief. It's the accent mark that silences a letter in a word, as I mentioned before. So like the G and sign. Vowels with no accent marks means you can pronounce them in any way. So yeah. And then here's an interesting thing. So you might notice that there are words like could, would, foot, took, good, and put. They use a different vowel. So the vowel that I use that's close enough that I can find in the IPA is this symbol right here. This is a near back rounded vowel, and is the closest vowel that is used in these English words. It's a slightly different version of the French the Norwegian or the Swedish So they're pretty much. I don't think I was pronouncing it the correct way, but it's close. It's like a different version of like the vowel used in like wood and foot and took. It's basically like it's basically like another version of those. And since I did not add a letter like any of those, I had to find a way to use the already existing letters in English. I decided to just make a 2-letter combo for the sound, and I just did O and E, so it's similar to the one in French. So it's like the French so it's very similar. Um, and you can use them in words that have like this sound. So like wood, you can replace these three letters with oe, so it's wood. Same with foot, foot right here, oe. Good, good. Put is interesting because with oe you have to spell it like this, and so because of that, I had to let you know that the word poet has to use the accent marks. So poet, so the macron, so the O is always the long sound, and then E has the diaresis because it's pronounced after the O, so poet, and this is put. And finally, we got wooden, put the OE next letter combo here, the E with the grave, and then end. So wooden. Something I've noticed about this is that when the word good, when it spells like this, it looks similar to the Dutch word for good, goed. Same with foot, voet, except it starts with a V in Dutch. So that's really cool. Really cool way to show that English is still Germanic. So yeah, it's really interesting. All right, and here are some exercises for you to try out. So hello. Hello. You can see that the H is here and E with the grave is here, and there's no double L. Here is signature. You can see that the I has a grave and the A. Oh, I put the wrong accent mark, but that's supposed to be an A with a grave. I have to fix that. There's the C, well, the chi, because the T over here makes the ch sound. And here's the ER at the end for for you to either use the colored or the non-colored rotate. Quota, again, here's the remove Q and replace with the K and U with the macron. O with the macron because it's quota, and then A with the grave, which makes like a schwa sound. Here is taking. You can see that P. Oh no, sorry. The A with the macron is A. It makes the A sound, so take. And then here's the I with the grave and the letter ing. Don't forget that ing makes the NG sound, so you don't have to put a G at the end of that word. Treasure. So this is interesting. So you could put it. You can put the E with the grave here, and here's the G, the letter G, and then ER with the either non-colored or colored rotic, or you can spell with chi because some people will pronounce this word as treasure. A lot of people pronounce it like that. Here's also an A with the breathe. Here's mosquito. So how I pronounce it is mosquito. Mosquito. So this O for me is a schwa, so I put an A with the grave or a U with the grave because both of them will make a schwa. Instead of a QU, since Q is removed, I just replace it with K. I with the macron, T with just T, and O with the macron as well. Shadow. So here's the letter she. The letter and, because it makes that short A sound, and then D, and then O with the macron, and you don't need to put a W or win at the end of a word, at this word. This is thoughts, so there's thorn, there's O with the grave, so thaw, and then TS, thoughts. Xenon, well that's how I pronounce this word, xenon, so for me I would put, there's the Z in front of the word because X in front of a word will make a Z sound. E with the macron makes the E sound, so Z, and then O with the grave. Now, I think people pronounce this also as xenon, so you can also put this E with a grave instead of a macron too. So you can see how customizable that can be. And then here is giant. So don't forget that the soft G makes a J sound, so you can replace that with J, so J. And then here is the I with the macron, so Jai. And then here's A with the diaresis, so these two letters are separate, so giant. Here's look, so look uses that weird vowel. So remember in the last slide, I put the two-letter combo of O and E, like the French word. Oh, no, not French word, French letter. So look. And finally, we got greatly. So I put two ways to spell it here. So greatly, there's the A with the macron and the E removed. And then remember that the Y only makes the consonant sound, not the vowel. So replace the Y with an I and with the macron, because that'll make the E sound. So greatly. And here's the other spelling for it: greatly with the E with the breathe. So it's a silent E. And that's pretty much all that was changed in this spelling. So as you can see, my version of English is more customizable and more phonetically accurate in a way. So yeah, that's pretty cool, right? And there you go, a simple, clear understanding of how to spell words in my updated English. Feel free to try it out, show it to others, or even convince others to use it. But you don't have to. This was just a personal project, something I created out of curiosity, to see what an updated version of English by me would look like. Many others have reimagined English before, and I wanted to try it myself. As much as I don't like the language, from the odd spellings, the silent letters, to the weird pronunciations, I still like it. I love its history from how it was started, changed, and borrowed from various cultures, like French and Old Norse from Scandinavia. Of course, English is confusing, but that's why it's special. Its weird elements are part of its existence, and while it may not always make sense, it's a language shaped by people, time, and change, just like the other languages in the world. The point I'm trying to make after all of this is, if you ever find something strange or unfamiliar, ask yourself, is it a wrong thing to do? Or is it just different from what you're used to? Languages cannot simply be fixed. They evolve, just like us. So what would you update in the English language? Feel free to try it yourself. After all, if you never try, you'll never know what you're capable of.